Okay, good morning, everyone. So I'm Chief Michel Moore of the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm joined by CHP Lieutenant Matt Barnacchia. It's B-A-R-N-A-C-H-I-A. We're going to provide a brief statement relative to this morning's collision involving two Los Angeles police officers and a suspected DUI driver. Earlier this morning, at approximately just around midnight hour, two uniformed officers that were working in the Newton area of Los Angeles observed what they believed to be a stolen vehicle. And they initiated a stop, which resulted in a vehicle pursuit as the vehicle fled from the officers. That vehicle pursuit entered into the freeway and traversed across this region and ultimately terminated in the northbound area of the Highway 57. However, during the course of that pursuit, it was believed that the suspect inside the vehicle had thrown an object from it. Now, at the termination point of the pursuit, the suspect fled. He was captured, was arrested. He had a felony warrant. There was a weapon inside the vehicle as well, and he's in our custody. These two uniform officers went back along the path of the pursuit in the efforts to try to locate what the item was that was thrown from the vehicle. As they drove northbound on the 57 freeway coming up on Yorba Linda, they were violently struck by another lone motorist, female, Hispanic, approximately 25 years of age, driving an Infiniti. That violent collision resulted in significant injuries both to that driver as well as to both of our officers. I just visited both officers here at the hospital. I want to thank UC Irvine hospital staff for the outstanding care they're providing for both these men. They are both conscious. They are bumps and bruises, significant laceration to the passenger's head from this collision, but they are expected to make a full recovery, and I am grateful for that. At this point, this investigation will continue, and I'll now give it to the lieutenant for the CHP.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, Lieutenant Matt Barnacchia, Santa Ana CHP. As the Chief mentioned earlier, the LAPD unit was traveling northbound on State Route 57 at Yorba Linda around 2 a.m. this morning. They were looking for contraband from the pursuit. At that time, they were struck from the rear by an Infiniti. The driver of the Infiniti was subsequently arrested for felony DUI and was also transported to a local area hospital for moderate injuries. At this time, we have only one traffic lane open on northbound State Route 57 at Yorba Linda, and the closure should last throughout the morning. No, they're not. The officers were inside the vehicle at the time of the collision. Yes. Yes, the officers were traveling northbound on State Route 57 in a patrol vehicle when they were struck. Yes, the driver sustained moderate injuries and was transported to a local area hospital.
Investigation continues on that.
The investigations continue on that.
I'm sorry, I was live. I just wanted, you've been able to confirm the drivers, the police officers were actually in movement, the car was moving and not parked on the side of the freeway?
That's correct. We're still in the initial stages of the investigation, and that will be determined at a later time. As to the condition of the officers, I'll let Chief Moore comment on that.
So I visited both officers on the bedside, and both of them have suffered some head injuries, lacerations, contusions, but they're both conscious. I'm grateful for that. They're stable. They're still being evaluated by the hospital staff as to whether or not they'll be admitted. But at this point, I'd say they're stable. One of the officers has his family here with him. The other officers, his family is from New York, but he has spoken with his mom and dad and let them know that he's okay. He's banged up, but I'm grateful for the condition. The violent nature of this collision, this could have been much more serious for all the parties involved, and I think it speaks again to the motoring public, the perils of drunk driving. And this is a holiday season, just as another brutal reminder to the dangers that are on our freeways, and certainly the dangers our people face every day as they go about their work and to keep the city safe.
Hey, Chief, do you have any idea how fast?
Let me do here, and I'll do here. So in regards to the officers' conditions, both of them are talking. They're both conscious. There was in the initial moments of the collision, the driving officer was a more senior officer. He's actually a training officer. Lost consciousness, and we had some significant concerns as officers rallied to get to the location and render him aid. But he was able to restore his consciousness, and he is being treated again for bumps, bruises, contusions. They're examining him as far as the severity of the head injury. You know, as far as the traveling speed, these officers were essentially scanning the roadway from seated within their vehicles with the spotlights, with their all their lighting equipment on when they were violently struck. We don't have the speed, but if you can look at the condition of the vehicles, you can see that this was a substantial speed that they were struck from behind.
Okay, we've been listening to a press conference with LAPD Chief Michel Moore, as well as CHP officers there, talking about the two LAPD officers who were hit by a car this morning. This started as a pursuit. They saw what they thought was something being thrown out of the window from the car they were chasing. They then went back onto the freeway to look for that contraband after an arrest was made of that driver, and that's when a suspected DUI driver hit those two officers.
Yeah, thankfully the two officers are okay. I mean, the fact that Chief Michel Moore was out there to kind of make sure they're okay and let us know, that's good news. But another example, the suspect potentially driving under the influence. So another reminder for drivers out there, if you're driving early in the morning, be careful because it is the holidays. So good news that the officers are doing okay though.